Hello you lovely people and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the JustFlight Avro Vulcan Mk.2. Now, go over the models that come with the package. Obviously we've got our 200 series Olympus, 300 series, and then back to this one, which, yeah, we'll come back to that later. So, I feel that there needs to be just a little bit of a side note on the engine differences here. So, when the Vulcan B1 was produced, they had the Olympus 101. When they went up to the B2, they got the start of the 200 series. Initially, they got the 201s. £17,000 for thrust. Then they were upgraded to the Mark 201, and the difference with this is that there was a rapid air starter for QRA and a redesigned oil separated breathing system, and this is basically classed as the definitive version of the 200 series engines, and funnily enough, that is what this version, the VTTS version 558, was fitted with. Now, the 301s was basically a slightly different engine. It had an additional zero-stage low-pressure compressor, produced 21,000 pounds-feet of thrust, and it was built for later Vulcan B2s plus 9 earlier aircraft were retrofitted. They were later derated to 18,000 pounds-feet of thrust, so around about 90% power. But when the Falklands War broke out, the 301s were the restriction was lifted, and they had 29,000 pounds of thrust again, just for Operation Black Buck. So those are the engine differences. Airframe differences, not too much. Cockpits are the same. This airframe, I really do have a thing about this version of 558. Not the aircraft itself, but you know, the politics and things. It made me not like the Vulcan for a very, very long time. I've had experience with what went on in the background, but I'm not going to go into that because touchy subject, and there are a lot of Vulcan fans out there will have their own opinions, but when you see it firsthand, yeah. Anyway, so that's this was the return to flight one, 2010-2015. It's got some additional blade aerials for comms. Also, I believe it had a GPS system, but that's not fitted in this version. I won't be flying this one at all, but it's just a brief mention, as it's basically just a small difference between these variants here. Just some general aviation additions to it to make it legally airworthy by the Civil Aviation Authority. So yeah, we'll go over the Olympus. We'll get the 300s out of the way actually, because there's less liveries. But as I say, this one doesn't have as much of a howl as the 201s, 202s. So I'm not as much of a fan, but I do love some of the paint schemes on these. So we've got XM600 with 9 Squadron at RAF Coltshaw, and no, sorry, Cottesmore, not Coltshaw, which is your bog standard anti-flash white with camo over the top with Type D decals, or roundels I should say. And then we've got XM607 pre-Falklands with 44 Squadron, RF Waddington, but this is the participant of Red Flag between 77 and 79. Then we come to 607, Operation Black Buck, the first one, initially the backup aircraft for Black Buck, and took over from the original. Then we have XM655, 35 Squadron, RF Scampton. And then we have a later version of 655, which is the Maintenance and Preservation Society variant of the Vulcan, which is being preserved in breathing condition at Wellesbourne, Mountford. And is good to know that there is other Vulcans out there that deserve our attention. And we're going to select the 200 variant. Good deliveries. We have XH534 of 230 Operational Conversion Unit, RF Cultural. Next we have XH538 of number 1 Group Strike Command, in the livery when it participated in the Giant Voice bombing competition back in 1979. Next we have the Pinnacle version of XH558 when it was with the RAF Vulcan display flight back in 1992. This thing was flown to within an inch of its life. It was maintained professionally, and it was the organisation was spot on and was really well looked after. So my favourite variant of 558. Next we come over to XH562 of number 9 Squadron, RAF Akrotiri. And this was zapped by the Royal New Zealand Air Force with the Kiwi Type D roundel. And it was participating in an air show at the Rongotai Air Show, but landed slightly before the end of the runway, hit the grass, the undercarriage hit the lip of the runway, and ended up ripping through the wing and yeah, dangling. It managed to do a go around, landed okay, and it was eventually repaired, but had a lengthy stay at Ohakia, but then it did eventually return to service. Then we come to the classic anti-flash white 617 Squadron RF Scampton and anti-flash white XL42683 Squadron RF Scampton. And with the RF Scampton scenery, these will fit in quite nice with the scenery that we've got. Even though it's not from that era, it's nice to know that we have a proper V-Force scenery out there for it. Next we've got XL426 of the Vulcan Restoration Trust, and yep, that's another one that's worthy of our attention. And then we've got something I've got a bit of a connection to, actually, XH558. I was a civilian instructor for the Air Training Corps, and one of the other civilian instructors on that squadron was an ex-pilot of XH558 with 50 Squadron at RF Waddington in the K2 guys. He flew a lot of tankers, and yeah, had some interesting stories about that. So yeah, got a slight connection with 558 when she was a K2. Next we have the next three are K2 variants with 50 Squadron: XJ825, XL445 and XM571. And then the last two we have our Maritime Radar Reconnaissance with 27 Squadron, and and we have let's see, I did have some information on that. The obviously XH534, we've got the well, the earlier version of when it was with the conversion unit at Coltshall, but was later converted to maritime radar reconnaissance and moved to 27 Squadron. And then we have XH560, and this went on to convert to a K2 also and join 50 Squadron, and the cockpit is actually privately preserved. I need to just add for the Vulcan Restoration Trust that's based at Southend, and they still run their Vulcan as well. So, like I say, there are other Vulcans out there worthy of our donations, and our help to keep these living bits of history alive, and totally worth our time to acknowledge. So, let's grab one of these and have a look at the exteriors of the aircraft and obviously the cockpit. So I'm gonna stick with the XH560 in the maritime radar reconnaissance, and let's get in and have a look. So having a look around the aircraft, I mean, a fantastic job of the flight, the model itself. Liveries are just outstanding. The work that has been put into this is phenomenal. The little extras like engine blanks, and also the addition of the external stores, which is fantastic. And obviously, if this thing ever goes to Xbox, could become an issue, as the loadouts are a pretty big thing with the V-bombers, especially blue steel. That played a massive role during the Cold War. So it's going to be difficult to see how this is going to cross over without any issues. But I hope it does, because Xbox guys are really missing out, and it's really unfair. So here we go. We've got the maritime radar and reconnaissance. These are also used for air sampling for atmospheric tests such as nuclear detonations, things like that. And these are the sampling pods that are added to it. And they obviously the clue in the name, the maritime radar reconnaissance. So they took the role of searching for surface vessels and things like that, and could do the low level search if needed, but majority of the time they would call on naval assets or smaller fast jets to take a closer look at any anomalies that they found on their missions. Definitely a different version, and not a lot of people know about the role of this version, which is a shame, because again it played quite a big role at the time. So let's jump in. You know, I don't need to really look too much at this aircraft, because I mean, at first glance it's just awesome. So yeah, like I say, let's get inside. And jumping inside, it's the same again. I mean, look at the wear and tear and attention to detail that has just gone into the cockpit. The seats are amazing. I mean, broken leather, for Christ's sake. Paint rubbing, scratches, add-on writing. I mean, these have been written on by pen, some of these, and it just absolutely amazing detail. I mean, it really gives the look that the aircraft has been flying for quite a few decades. So hats off to you, JustFlight. You've really done well. So looking around, I mean, this is steam gauge heaven. for me. I love cockpits like this. It really does keep you busy, and you have to look for what you want. You can't just push a button and there it is. These aircraft really made you earn your money. So I'm not going to jump into the co-pilot position because obviously it's going to be pretty much the same. So let's have a look at the back seats. Yeah, let's go down to the EFB and go to Navigator. Now this I'm less impressed with. Where's the aircraft gone? You seem to be stuck in a black blob. Hopefully this is going to change as the aircraft gets updated, because seriously, if it gets left like this is pretty awful, to be fair. I mean, you might as well just have these as pop-up panels instead of moving into what looks like what should have I don't know, cargo or something sat in it. It's an afterthought, and I think it's a bit of an insult to the navigators and AEOs, backseaters that flew these aircraft, that they don't seem to be included much into it. EFB will pop up if it's not clicked to hide. So we're in the navigator's position, and you can't click anything at the moment because there's a bit of an oopsie by JustFlight. If you go into camera mode, you'll see that you're in showcase, and everybody knows in showcase you can't actually do anything. Doesn't matter if you click it, doesn't matter if you flick it, you could hit it with a hammer and nothing would happen. So they are looking at that, but you can work around that by doing the checklist. So if I go to internal checks and click the view electronic power, get rid of that because I don't want the arrow, then things become clickable. So there is a small workaround, but there is no point in putting shortcuts to other seats for you not to be able to do anything. It was supposed to speed the process up. If anything, it's made it longer, because those who don't realise that, you know, oh, we can't click anything, what do we do now? If you just go to the checklist and select something, if you want to do the nav panel, for some reason it's up there. Yeah. So let's jump back in the front. So I guess we really should take a look at the electronic flight board. So, like I say, you've got the views here, first, second. You can do pilot and co-pilot with no issue. You can still click switches, but it's just the back seats that have no clickables at the moment. So, like I say, checklist will sort that out. You can also select your ground power and remove your chocks and the covers, so we'll take those off, and the crew door and bomb door. Bomb door switch is this one here. You can do that manually. I've not been able to find a crew hatch switch, if there is one, so just close that for now. And as you can see, our ground power and Paloosta are starting up, and they're ready to go. So once the egg timer's gone, you are pretty much ready to start the aircraft. Or if you really can't be bothered, you can go to ready for takeoff, which will have everything running, ready for start, which will have all the electrics up and running, ready to start the engines, or cold and dark will put it all back to cold and dark. Then you have the selection of external stores and internal stores. So okay, with the MRR version, we can take the pods off. I'm going to replace that with Shrike, so I know that never happened, but just doing this for the fact that I don't want to have to go out and change the variant that I'm in, just to show the externals. And we can also add the cylinder tanks for the K2 variant, and we're just going to jump outside and take a look at those. So the weather is a bit rubbish at the moment, so I'm just going to brighten the day up just so that we can see what the hell's going on. So if we zoom in, we can see that we've got the shrikes hanging, 2 on either side of the wing. It did fly in that configuration for one of the black buck missions. I think it may have been possibly 6 or 7. They managed to get a kill, I believe, on that mission, one of the 4. Going around, we have the 60 kVA ground power unit that they used. Also, another thing to note, the 200 series had the longer exhaust ports and were slightly narrower. The 301s were more stubby and wider, so that's another difference between the engine variants. And then as we come around to the other side, we've got the other Shrikes and the Police Starter, ready to wind those engines up. And the one thing I didn't know all this time, and I've seen many a Vulcan, I didn't realise there were actually lights in the nose there until I actually flew this in the dark. So just goes to show you learn something new every day. And obviously the blanks are gone, so we can see down the intakes. Obviously not right down there because the sun is in the wrong position. But yeah, that's the Shrikes on board. Let's take a look at something else. It's a shame you can't have the EFB outside, so we could just configure it out here. So let's configure it for the next loadout. Oh, hold on, we've got these cylindrical tanks here down the bomb bay for K2 missions. So let's just configure that, configure it again. Now the Shrikes have been taken off of the wings, and we have a WE-177 inside the fuel tank, along with 2 saddle tanks front and back. Not really the best way to show you this. I could go into so I've now gone into drone cam, sorted that out, so you can see the saddle tanks front and back, and the WE-177 make it go boom boom mushroom cloud. So let's reconfigure again, and now they've been changed with Mark 13 bombs. As you can see, quite a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 21 of them all in total, which is what they carried during Black Buck. And I've gone and saved the best till last, and this is the mighty blue steel, our nuclear deterrent of the time, and very synonymous with V-bombers. Fueled by a mixture including high test peroxide, which took billions of gallons of water apparently to dilute. So if they had to divert to an airfield, they're carrying this weapon, they had to actually divert to an airfield where they had the ability to do that, because high test peroxide, a drop of it on your skin, it would burn through to the bone, and is highly flammable. So obviously landing away from home with one of these on and the temperature rising on the inside, that would be the ultimate problem, the temperature rising on the inside of the missile. So constant monitoring of that while carrying the weapon, because it could become highly unstable. So yeah, that's externals, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Really nice set of extras there to give it a really more menacing look. And lastly, we've got the K2 variant. Not much different from the front, but as we creep round the back, you can see we have the hose drum unit, or HDU. I took a picture of this the other day, showed it to somebody I know, and they said it looks like a bumhole. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, nice that the K2 variant has an addition and also has the working hose up once we're up in the air. So I'm going to use the 558K2 for my flight testing, and then we will get on to our summary. So let's jump in the cockpit and get things live. Okay, so everything's up and running. Let's listen to the sounds. The 301 is just going to be gorgeous, I know it. Just having a look at the lighting on the inside. It's nice that we have that. We can have it in bright or dim, this switch here. So we don't really need it at the moment. And I'll also have a look at night lighting before I get to the summary. We'll just jump outside and have a listen to the 202s, making sure the chocks are on for the spool up. Put the brakes on as well. Okay, so let's run it up. Listen to that. Oh, what a beautiful resonance that is. Power. Okay, let's listen to it from inside the cockpit. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Well done, JustFlight. Right then, let's do the same with the 301s. So we do get a slight howl, but it's not exactly 202 legend. Very smoky. I believe they're actually going to add more to the smoke effects on a later update. So yeah, the soul of the aircraft seems to have been taken out by the upgrade to the 301. The howl was very much part of the menacing feature of the Vulcan. Let's listen to that from inside. And, as I say again, there is a slight howl, but nothing compared to the 202s. 202s were something else, they were really special. There you go. Well, let's get the thing up in the air. Let's make our way up to the runway now. As you can see, I'm on a parking space to nowhere, so I've got to do a 180. So this will really test the turning circle out. So make sure the parking brake is off. And yeah, let's see what we can do here without getting on the grass. Let's gently get it rolling. Don't want to overdo it because we will end up on the grass otherwise. Doing well so far. Short's 360. That's very surprising, turning circle on this thing, considering the size of it. Way down the end here, and we're going to turn left. Ground handling is nice, it's heavy but responsive. In fact, it's what I would call spot on for something like this. You really don't want it too touchy, and you don't want it too sluggish, because obviously you won't get round corners. So let's slow it down slightly. We've got to turn left here and to the end of the runway. I can always add a tap of differential braking if needed as well. So yeah, the ground handling is very good. Like it. Just going to turn off the internal lighting because we don't really need it. Okay, yeah, so responsiveness, as I say, left and right is very good. Obviously it depends on speed and how heavy you are, but all in all very good. I've just looked ahead and I hope that the taxiway has not been blocked. This will make things a lot more difficult. Okay, so it's blocked off on one side, so we'll just go around that. I'm going to go straight out. Oh, there's always one idiot. Okay, so we don't need the EFB anymore, so we can hide that, not for the moment anyway, not until we get to altitude anyway, and I'll go check out the HDU. So let's get up in the air. Tow brakes on, throttle up to around about 50%. Okay, and brakes off all the way. Never get tired of that. Okay, rotate. Take it nice and easy. Got positive rate. Gear up. No flaps to speak of. Just keep climbing. Its responsiveness is, well, they said it flew like a fighter. They weren't kidding. That's really impressive, that. Get it up to 4,000 feet per minute in the old VVI. And just drop slightly. Get to 3,000 feet and then I am going to level off. Get the speed up a bit more. I have flown this when it first came, I bought it within an hour of it being released, and this was before my youngest was rushed to A&E, and I managed to get a flight out of it before things went south. So I've not really flown it too much, but what I did notice is that when I tried to do a wing over, had a few issues with it, and I know that aerobatics is not supposed to be a thing in an aircraft this size, but it was able to loop, and it was also video evidence of Rolly Falk flying the Vulcan at Farnborough Air Show, rolling it twice straight after takeoff. So I'm not sure where the overstressing comes from on the aircraft when you try to do something like that in the sim. We're now at 300 knots, we're going to try and climb again, 4,000 feet per minute. Try not to overdo it. I just want to get to about 10,000 feet. And then we're going to have a look at this hose drum unit. And then we will fly back to base. Start bringing the nose down now. And the aircraft trims out really nicely. I'm going to throttle back now. We're at altitude. Just going to trim out so we can hold without out the autopilot. Okay, and that seems good enough to me. Okay, go outside. Looking good. Very good. Let's get this drum unit out. Get the EFB, and we're going to click the K2 hose, jump outside again, and we can see that it's being extended or rolled out. And is in the slipstream. Go around the back. We even have the amber lights. Don't know if we can get them to green or red, but they're there, as well as the lights around the hose drum unit as well. Now, I'm just going to perform a turn. See what the radius turns like. I'm going to need to have a boot full of rudder for this to keep the nose down. I don't want to climb too much. That's actually really impressive. I mean, evasive manoeuvres against Cold War fighters would have been a real good thing in this aircraft back in the day, being chased by MiG-15s, 17s, even MiG-21s. So yeah, we're going out over the North Sea. Let's get things dark now and have a look at the night lighting. Okay, we've got the panel lighting on, which isn't great in night flying, so we're going to rev up the red dimmers. And we've got this side, we've got flood dimmer there, console dimmer, starboard side, centre, and again another dimmer there. And we've got UV dimmers as well, which will be good for the instrument lighting. And it's just a matter of finding the right console dimmers. And you can see over on the starboard side we've got a UV light on, which is good, doesn't cause any real reflections in the windscreen, but at the same time is not brilliant. If we go for the red, again it's causing a little bit of reflection there, but we can dim that until there's not a lot there. Bit of a mixture. So yeah, the inside lighting's pretty good. Let's jump outside. And got all the beacon lights flashing, and our navs, tail light, and the lights for the HDU underneath, rotating beacons, so looking good there. Right, so let's try a landing in this thing. I'll slow down now. I'm going to get the hose in. So we're going to go and try and land this thing now. The hose is in, and we're going to slow down, get rid of the EFB. Okay, so we're off the east coast. Find an old V bomber base to land at. We'll speed things up to get there. Get the visors down because we've got the sun in the face. Okay, we're going to go in at Coningsby. I'm used to that now. Okay, get below 200 knots and get the gear down. Don't really want to have to use air brakes if I need to. lights down. Get the gear down now. Well, I'm down. I didn't use a parachute. I'll be honest, that was my first ever landing in the JustFlight Vulcan. Well, this variant of it anyway, flight sim variant. Done it plenty of times in the FSX variant. Bit of a hairy one, but we are down. I love the addition of the visors. Big help with the sun in your face. And obviously you've got the slidey one here for the porthole, as I like to call it. Slide that back up. That's excellent. Really like that. And obviously you've got your radios down here. ADF, VOR, nav input areas, and dials and gauges and all that lovely stuff that old school pilots will just eat up, and where the new school pilots will have to learn the proper way to navigate. So yeah, I will do an autopilot and navigation video separately. I won't go too much into it, but the autopilot is back here. It's on. It functions. It follows flight plans. It does all it needs to do. And like I say, I will do a video on that at some stage. We are down at Coningsby, an old V-bomber base, but no real parking for something of this size here anymore. Well, there is. I could have gone to the left side. So I've got to block the taxiway here, and yeah, let's close the engines down. There we go, lovely stuff. And parking brake on. Right, so let's get on to the summary. Okay, you want my summary? Here's my summary. In 2 words, buy it. 19 liveries, 3 different flight models, addition and configurations, different loadouts, and absolute joy to fly. The level of detail is superb. There's a lot of history in the package with different, like the Kiwi roundel version. We've got the different. We've got the Giant Voice bombing competition livery. We've got a SAC livery. We've got, which I think is that livery. We've got the. We've also got the red flag, stone, medium stone and light stone undersides. It's just an absolutely phenomenal flight model, and very intensive startup, very busy cockpit. It's just let down by the backseaters, which I feel is a bit of an insult to those who flew in the back. A bit of detail in the back would be nice. But yeah, I think that sums it up. Just buy it. There's no real other way of putting it. It's a lot for what you get for such a ridiculously cheap price. $27.99. $27.99. There are worse aircraft out there at much higher prices. This is a no-brainer. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Just buy it. You've got this far. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.